Welcome back to Step Vision. So this time doing something a little different here. I'm going to try to guess my reaction to this movie. I think it's not going to be perfect, way less CGI. I was so tired of like the aliens being CGI all the time. I'm like, bring back the practical. I want the practical effects. I want to feel like it's real, like it's tangible. So I'm going to guess walking out that I'm really going to dig the practical effects. I'm going to dig the style of his filmmaking. I do like Fede Alvarez's work. I'm just looking forward to the fact that we finally have someone different directing these movies after so long. It's been 38 years since the last good one.
It's been 84 years.
It's gonna be probably like about like an 8 out of 10, so maybe go out and buy it. Maybe that's what I'll say in my review. Let's see, I'm about to go see it right now. Let's find out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the little bell on the side. All right, so guess what? I just came back from seeing Alien Romulus. Does this take that third spot? Well, let's get into it. So starting with the positives, right away the style. The style, I was loving it. I was like, man, visually, kind of reminds me of Blade Runner, which that first Alien movie does as well. The music here was very reminiscent of the first movie. Very cool. And it does something with sound design here that I thought was really smart, because in the original trailer it was like in space, no one can hear you scream. There was moments here, especially in the beginning, where it just like there's no sound, just super quiet. And because of that, it just kind of added to the tension of the movie, and it kind of added to that vibe. And I was like, all right, cool, this is different. I feel like this is like a step above what we've gotten in years. And then the cast. The cast here, I'm not going to say that I loved all of them, but there were two standouts, and that's Andy and Rain. At first, you're like, okay, especially in the trailers, you're like, is she trying to be like a Sigourney Weaver knockoff kind of thing? But no, she's a totally different character, does her own thing. She's smart, she's likable, and I thought she did a great job. The only thing is, at first, I was like, is her name Ray? And I was like, I know this is kind of like doing like a Force Awakens thing with this movie, but it's a little bit on the nose here. I was like, okay, her name is Rain. Different enough, but the movie definitely has a Force Awakens vibe. And then Andy as this android. Andy, android, get it? He's kind of like more on the subdued or almost nervous side for an android. He definitely has that friend zone vibe where you feel like if he was a human, he would obviously love to be with Rain. But anyways, getting to the cool stuff, which is what you guys are here for. Let's talk about the alien shit, right? Right. It focuses more on the face huggers here than the actual aliens, the xenomorphs. It makes the face huggers a little bit more on the creepy side, scary side, that we haven't really seen since Aliens. And I still think that Aliens did it better. This was like a close second to that. And speaking of that, the practical effects here are great. Remote controlled face huggers were awesome looking, and I really felt like because they weren't CGI that they were really there. And there's tons of moments, especially when they first show up in the movie, which you've seen in the trailers, where they're like jumping at the screen, jumping these characters, and it was really intense, suspenseful, really cool.
There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the water?
I don't know, there's just something in the fucking water.
And then we get to the xenomorphs, probably the best they've looked since that Aliens movie. It looked great here, it looked awesome. This one definitely references the first movie a lot more. And speaking of references, let's get to the mixed aspect here, because I felt a little mixed about all the little member berries here. Because there's a lot of them. It's like, remember when they did this? Remember when they said that in this movie? Hey, like this movie, right? Nostalgia. And it's kind of like that for a little while, where it was like, all right, this is cool, but I kind of want to see what you guys do new with this world. It was a little too reliant on that for me, for my personal taste. The first line of the movie is actually a dad joke. And there's quite a few of these dad jokes throughout the movie. And some of them hit, some of them don't. And honestly, some of them, I couldn't understand what they were saying. And it was kind of like what Christopher Nolan has done with his most recent films, where the sound design, maybe like the music or ambience or whatever it is, kind of takes over the dialogue. It's like, I don't know if it was just me. There were some plot conveniences here that it felt like we're kind of leaning towards helping out certain characters while disregarding others. So it's like others got the shit end of the stick, while in the same scenario, because they're this certain character, they're not going to get hurt or they're not going to get killed doing the same thing. So that part, I felt that I was like, that's a little bit cheap, but okay. One more thing in the mixed category is there's this certain face hugger scene that happens early on in the movie, and it was kind of reminiscent of maybe Shaun of the Dead or The Walking Dead.
What is that?
and they kind of make with this new rule with the face huggers. And when this scene happened, my friend, she's a huge Alien fan, leaned over at me and she was like, "This is bullshit.
This is a load of barnacles."
All right, let's get to the negatives. So one huge thing that stood out to me was, because I was wondering, like, where does this take place? When does this take place? I found out it's supposed to be between the first one and Aliens, right? So somewhere in the middle in there. And there's a certain character that is brought back through CGI and it looks terrible. I talked about the practical effects, how they're great. And it's unfortunate because there's so many great practical effects here, but this CGI character was like, man, this is a really bad idea. If you're gonna do it, maybe do it through like TV screens or a little staticky or maybe in shadows. And it's like, ah, man, that it was really taking me out. It was like a deep fake. It looked really bad. When you guys see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was like, oh no. Oof. Another thing that I did not like or didn't love at all was the fact that this tied in to the Prometheus movie, which I was not a huge fan of Prometheus. I know Ridley Scott's involved as a producer, but I was like, damn it. There's a certain thing that happens that you're going to be either with it or against it. And I was against it. I wanted the movie to end before this happened. One thing that happens that I was like, why?
It's wrong. It's wrong!
Why, Ridley? Why does this have to happen, bro? Oh my God.
I think what I tried to do is don't let art get in the way of the story.
And not only does it tie it together with Prometheus, but it was done with CGI. It brought back memories of Prometheus and also Alien Resurrection. When you guys see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, both movies that I did not want to be reminded of when I watched this movie. So that was unfortunate. So what's the verdict? If you're a big Alien fan or a huge Alien fan, I would say go see it in theaters because there are elements here that you will definitely love. If you're a casual fan, I will say it is entertaining, but you don't need to go see it in theaters. I would wait for streaming. After watching this one, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say that this will probably be the only time I'll watch this movie. I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. It did not feel like another classic for me. It kind of reminded me of like what Scorsese said about movies, where he was like, they kind of feel like roller coasters or carnival rides now. And that's kind of how it felt for me. It felt like I went on this roller coaster and it was cool enough, had enough fun, but not enough to return. Well, that about wraps it up. So I think after this, it's time to go watch Aliens again. And if you're new to my channel, you can go watch my review for Long Legs right over here, or maybe it's over here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this movie and which one's your favorite Alien movie. Seth Vision out.